If you've been following tech news, then you know what today is. It's time to Ryzen and shine. That's right, the NDA is gone. You hear that, Noelle? You can just toss it. Just toss it. We can finally chat about the new 3rd generation of Ryzen. Mwah! Boy howdy, do we have stuff to talk about. This tiny piece of silicon is a member of AMD's newest family of Ryzen 3000 CPUs. This is a first look at the 3rd generation Ryzen built with Zen 2 architecture. We've got benchmarks, we've got close-up visuals, and we got it all. Let's hit it! The launch of the Ryzen 3000 series will be much like Ryzen of the past. We'll be seeing 5 new Ryzen consumer-level CPUs sporting AMD's Zen 2 architecture. For today's coverage, we're gonna focus on this 6-core, 12-thread mid-range monster, running at a base clock of 3.6 GHz and able to achieve a maximum boost clock of 4.2 GHz. You're looking at the Ryzen 5 3600! For those of you in the know about the Ryzen CPUs, these speeds don't imply huge performance improvements, at least on paper. And we know, paper is just paper. Just like Stephen Strange, this Ryzen has a few tricks up its sleeve, using AMD's 7nm manufacturing process, which is synonymous with the Zen 2 architecture. This should translate to some pretty impressive real-world results. On top of that, feel free to overclock this unlocked CPU. It'll come with a Wraith Stealth Stock cooler, which does a great job at base speeds. But if you're going to push it beyond the base clock, we recommend an adequate third-party cooler. Let's look at some key features before we dive into the benchmarks. It has a 65-watt TDP, much like its predecessor, the 2600. But instead, we see our new Ryzen squeeze in a higher boost frequency of 4.2 GHz versus 2600s at 3.9 GHz. When it comes to motherboards, I have great news. Hooray, we have the news! X570 boards use the AM4 socket, so no need to worry about AM4 Gen 2 or anything wild like that. For compatibility with A320M, B350, or X370 motherboards, please check with your motherboard manufacturer website to be 100% certain. And, well, cover your beans here. For those with X470 and B450 boards, announcements have been made for compatibility. But, again, we suggest keeping your eyes open for a BIOS update with your board's manufacturer site. For anyone else considering the latest and greatest, feel free to jump right into and pick up the latest X570 boards built specifically with the Ryzen 3000 series in mind. We'll be covering these boards a little further down the line in an upcoming video, so feel free to subscribe and stay tuned for those. AMD's default recommended specification for RAM is 3200 MHz in dual channel. Ryzen CPUs are built on their Infinity Fabric technology. There's a real sweet spot of 37-33 MHz that you could achieve with overclocking 3600 MHz RAM sticks. This is because of Infinity Fabric. Single channel is still compatible, but AMD at the end of the day will recommend dual channel for your best performance. One of the big key features for these next generation Ryzens is the all-new PCIe 4.0 interface. If you follow Computex, you know all about the new PCIe 4.0 standard, and with that, all the upcoming SSDs, expansion cards, and more. I'll go more into detail about this in the upcoming X570 motherboard video. It's time for the big reveal! Show me the benchmarks! Noelle, just show them! End the video here! I'm kidding, because here's how we're gonna go and tackle this today. Prepare yourselves, friends. We've taken 2 previous generation CPUs, the Ryzen 5 2600 and 2700X. That's right, 2 X processors. We as well brought in the last generation of Intel, the 8700K. So again, 2600X, 2700X, and 8700K. We chose the 2600X over the 2600 to maintain frequency parity with the 3600. Since the 2600X and 3600 had the same boost frequency, but very different power consumption, at 95 watts versus 65 watts. What better way to show the full potential of AMD's new architecture than put it against the best Ryzens that AMD had to offer last gen? Our test bench is made of the following. For motherboards, we went with the Gigabyte X470 Wi-Fi to pair with our 2000 and 3000 CPUs. Additionally, we included the MSI X570 Pro Carbon Wi-Fi for the Ryzen 3600. For video card, we have the Gigabyte RTX 2080 Aorus. To cool the CPUs, we use the Wraith Prism LED RGB CPU cooler to ensure consistency. Lastly, in our test bench, we chose the Ryzen certified G-Skill RAM totaling 16 gigs of memory at 3200 MHz in a dual channel configuration. So of course you want to know what games we picked and why. So we chose some of Russ's favorite games. Kidding, he hates us now. We chose Overwatch, Battlefield 5, and The Division 2. Not because we knew this set Russ over the edge, but because they scale well on performance difference. You can really see it, and that's why I'm really excited about these benchmarks. All these games, well, you'll see. We tested out on ultra high and low settings with an average frame rates recorded for each processor. Starting with ultra settings. On Overwatch, the Ryzen 3600 got play of the game by getting 242 FPS with the X470 board. When we changed maps and dropped in on high setting, we're still seeing great performance at 262 FPS. Lastly, as promised, we checked out low settings and we got an earth shatter at 276 FPS. Now we have ultra settings for Battlefield 5. The 3600 achieved 116 frames per second on ultra. As for high and low settings, again, the 3600 gave us the good, with achieving 130 FPS on high and 148 on low. Alright, it's time to activate Agent Ryzen. Our last game is The Division 2, if you've been following which games we've been doing and all that stuff. So in ultra settings, the Ryzen 5 3600 achieves 121 FPS, follows up strong with 159 FPS on high, and what really surprised our grandmother was the huge scaling at 208 FPS on low. We told her about this, and all she said was, "Oh, that's nice, dear." Here's one for you synthetic benchmark lovers. We're talking Cinebench R15 and R20. In these tests, the overall winner was the 2700X due to its 2 additional cores and 4 extra threads. That being said, the 3600 doesn't fall far too behind, with its 6 cores and 12 thread status. With an average score after 5 runs of each test, we can see that the 3600 scores 1575 in R15 and an R20 score of 3552. You can really see how much of an improvement the Zen 2 is over the previous generation 2600X. And the same test using the MSI X570 Pro Gaming Carbon Wi-Fi motherboard. While the X570 did perform better overall, these results are pre-release and likely to change as new BIOS revisions are released. So, what does this all mean? Well, we conclude that the price performance with a $199 USD processor is amazing. The 3600 is exceptional value and should be on everyone's radar. If you're thinking of upgrading your existing PC or planning an entirely new build, come on down to your friendly neighborhood Memory Express and give this Ryzen 5 3600 some serious consideration. Of course, the 3600 is just a sample of what's to come. Stay tuned for upcoming videos where we explore additional CPUs from AMD's 3rd generation lineup. The Ryzen 5, 7, and the all-new Ryzen 9 feature up to 16 cores and 32 threads. We expect these processors to be moving fast with launch days, so be sure to check the website for the most up-to-date inventory, or come on down to your local Memory Express so we can help you out with your 3rd generation upgrade. Let us know in the comments below if you guys are looking at grabbing that 3600 yourself, or is there another Ryzen processor from the new lineup you're going to be grabbing for a new PC build? We'd like to know all about it. Share your specs. Let's check it out. As always, friends, thank you so much for watching. If you want more content like this, you know the drill. Slap that sub button, ring that bell so you never miss a video. Follow us on social media. Facebook and Twitter are the same at Memory Express. Instagram is special as it's official Memory Express. And of course, you guys have followed our newsletter and you guys already know what the fantastic prize is for this month. Wowee, what a prize for MAXP. So how do you win? Of course, commenting on the videos for the month for July, and we'll be announcing our winner for June's MAXP in the next video. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, typing all those videos, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. Goodbye. Just sending positive vibes. Thanks for watching. 2 previous generation CPUs, the Ryzen 5 26.
No.
Ah! It went to the top.
No.
Damn it. Wow. Talking about using your forehead, eh?